Samantha once again, welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time from Jonathan Lindsey, who wanted me to talk about another episode of Batman the Animated Series. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, reviews, commentaries, topics, lists, randomness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the episode Eternal Youth, which at the end of the day I wasn't really a big fan of, and then I came to the realization that maybe it's because the Poison Ivy character doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Like, for an animated character, she looks beautiful. The stories that people go to this resort is called the Eternal Youth Spa, and one thing at least you find out Poison Ivy is tricking people to go there, thinking everything's fine. Then her really hench women, they will spray stuff on them, they'll freeze, and they'll turn into bark like a tree. Apparently over time they will become part of the plant ecosystem, and Poison Ivy's doing this in revenge for atrocities on the planet, taking down rainforests, things of that nature. And the way Batman gets involved is Bruce Wayne is sent one of these tapes. He's not going to go. Alfred says, hey. And then there's this other girl who's a friend of his. They both go to the Eternal Youth Spa. He returns and he's a bit changed, and Alfred is like putting plants all over, and he's drinking this weird liquid that's apparently some kind of concoction to make you feel good. Part of the spa nutrition treatment. Obviously that's not the case. Alfred and the older lady leave. They go back to that spa. They get frozen. A moment in time. Batman goes in, gets captured very quickly. I mean, the idea of turning the people into trees, into like the actual bark, and it reminds me, it's not exactly the plot, but there was an episode of the X-Files called, I think it was Field Trip, where Mulder and Scully were sent to investigate some crime, and in their minds they thought they left, but then by then they find out they've been hallucinating the whole time, and they've really been stuck underground as this like plant-like creature is trying to suck the life force's juices out of them and putting this stuff in their head so that the victim is, lying down still. It's consumed slowly, but in its head thinking it's doing fine and dandy, which was a more interesting plot than this. But that, granted, this is a cartoon. And again, I think it's just because the Poison Ivy character, the other Poison Ivy episode I had been requested to review for John and Lindsay, I wasn't really a big fan of that either. I'm like, well, they'll both do again, nice looking lady for a cartoon, but just something about the character, maybe just the fact that she's dealing with plants, and plants are just not intimidating or scary or creative, or, oh, they just seem like weak sauce. And you really have to be very clever in the writing, like the X-Files episode, or go gonzo, like Little Shop of Horrors. When you deal with that, it's like, it could play a thin line of like goofy, silly, what the fuck is this shit? If you're gonna make it a bit better to the point of being intriguing, entertaining, I don't know. I know a lot of people like the Poison Ivy character. She just really didn't do much for me other than she's a hot lady. I did for a cartoon. And like the voice actors I don't mind. And I do think it's better here than Uma Thurman and Batman and Robin. But I don't like, yeah, it's cool. You have a female villain, which is not typical for Batman, other than maybe Catwoman, and she kind of plays both sides. So, of the main villains, Poison Ivy is like one of the few female, but like I said, she just never really did much for me. And I don't know, the episode didn't really grab me, and I'm trying to go into why, other than the story didn't grab me. The visual of the people being turned into this bark creatures, so it's wood bark, but you see the people's faces in the impression of the potential trees they will become. That's kind of an interesting visual look to it. But even the finale, it's pretty much he avoids some arrows. He gets this enzyme into the ground. This big tree sprouts out, and the big tree sprouts out and pretty much captures all the bad guys. And I was like, oh, okay, just it wasn't really that exciting. It wasn't really that thrilling. Also with Alfred, I guess of the episodes I've seen, Alfred just hasn't been that much of a big character point. So I wouldn't say I really care about Alfred at this point in time. Not saying I eventually wouldn't. I mean, even the voice is fine. I like the Michael Gough and Batman Returns, and I believe it's Michael Gough. I believe that was the actor's name. I don't mind the Alfred character in general. It's just, again, maybe of the episodes I've seen, Alfred just hasn't been a big mainstay, so I felt a big connection to him. And a good chunk of the episode is about him. And, just messed away. It's not that I thought he was bad, just I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent on the Alfred character, at least at this point in time. So maybe that's why it didn't really pull me in as well. And like I said, the Poison Ivy character never really did much for me. Other than, hey, nice tight outfits. Where's the porn? I'm sure there's a porn version of Poison Ivy. Or probably Harley Quinn, them fucking 69 flying and 69 gymnastics. I'm sure it's the internet. They have everything. For good, for bad, or for indifference. So, like I said, there's many other episodes I prefer over this, but there's many other episodes I appreciate more than this. I guess if you're a big Poison Ivy fan, you'll get more out of this than me. Like I said, I think it's the realization for me of just the character itself just didn't really, and has really never done much for me. Of course, it doesn't help that my first impression of her was in Batman and Robin with Uma Thurman. That's not really a good first impression for Poison Ivy. But even then, again, I've seen one other episode. Like, whatever. It's not the design, the look, it's not the voice actor, it's just the character itself. I love plants. Okay, good. Stick a tree up your ass. That'll be another porn. The porn I don't want to see. But, the Wizard of Oz porn. ATM, I got a tree up my ass, help! The Tin Man will chop it off with his dick. Anyway, sorry about that visual, folks. With that said, thanks for watching. I know it's not much of a review. Like, the thing with this show, the animation, the music, the voice acting, especially Kevin Conroy as Batman, have no issues with. And it's hard to get tremendously mad at something that's only 20-some minutes. Like I said, if Poison Ivy is more your type of character, this will appeal to you more than me. And again, Jonathan Lindsey wanted my honest opinion, and there you go. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.